the Music Coach, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to set yourself up for long-term success when you're practicing music and learning an instrument. The biggest challenge I've found, not only for me personally but for most of my students, it's not the technical requirements of whatever instrument they're playing or even how much innate ability that they have when they start. The biggest challenge people have with consistently making progress in music has to do with their practice habits. And for most of us, we have a negative reaction to that idea even. Practice habits, discipline, these things, we feel like we get tense about it. And adjusting your relationship to those ideas will open you up to being able to fully embrace all of your abilities and really take giant leaps forward in your playing. I know for me personally, I realized early on I had to change my relationship to what I thought practicing meant, how it worked, what I thought discipline meant, and I had to really reframe in my mind what it meant to play an instrument. This has a lot to do with the way we perceive learning a musical instrument in society, unfortunately, is largely negative. You've probably seen this. Mostly what you get fed in the outer surroundings is that some people have talent and some people don't have talent. And when you go to a concert and you watch someone play, you think, well, they just have it, and that's why they sound amazing. And this doesn't in any way reflect reality. It may be that they had some natural ability, but there's thousands of hours that went into what you're seeing when you see someone performing in a professional context. And then the question becomes, well, how did they get from not playing at all to having the discipline and the patience and learning the right things to get all the way through that process? And although musicians will give you a variety of different answers, I think the best way to do it is to find a healthy way that's realistic and is repeatable. So my first key to having real success in your practicing is to set goals. Because like anything else in life, if you have an idea of where you want to go, it's a lot easier to tell where you are in that journey rather than just a loose idea of like, I want to learn how to play this instrument. And if you have that thought and it just sort of dissipates out into the air, when things get difficult, you're more likely to quit because it's like, where am I in the middle of that journey? As opposed to, you could say, my goal is I want to, for example, I want to play the piano and I want to learn how to play these 3 songs in the next year. And you may have no idea how you're going to do it, but even just having that goal is going to help propel you along. And when you hit rough patches, you can check in with yourself and your goals and you go, am I doing the things that I need to get to my goal? A good goal to think about when you're playing a musical instrument is how to get to a place where you can make music with other people. Music throughout human history has always been a community event. It's only in the last few hundred years that it's sort of moved into conservatories and into school settings, and we've isolated from each other, and somehow we've lost the idea that the point of it is that you can actually make music with another real live human being. So my suggestion, if you're not quite sure what goal to set, I'd pick a goal that involves eventually playing with other people, whether that's joining a band or just playing with a friend and going like, my friend also plays the guitar and I want to be able to play the same song so we can play together. Another really big key to long-term success with practicing is finding a consistent time of day that you're in the best frame of mind and being to practice in. And this is different for everybody, and which is why there is no one answer of everyone should practice like at 5 o'clock, or, I mean, that's not helpful for anybody. We all have different lives and different schedules and commitments. I suggest you experiment around with it a bit. I found for me personally, I feel the best practicing early in the morning. And for me, it's just I find my mind is very clear and relaxed, and I haven't been sort of inundated with emails and phone calls and other commitments. And I set aside a small amount of time, not every day of the week, but 4 or 5 days a week. Because I'm a professional musician, I have to work on a lot of things. But for you, it might be 1 or 2 times a week. And I block off that time, and when I'm there, I'm as present as I can be, and I'm working on my goals to get me closer to where I want to go next. Some things to think about when the time of day is going to be when you're going to practice are make sure you have had enough sleep. So waking up too early if you're going to bed too late is not going to be ideal. Make sure that you've had something to eat. If you're really hungry, like if you get home from work or school and you're starving, it's not going to be ideal for your nervous system and your body to be in a calm place. So make sure that you've had something to eat, but you also may find you don't want to play right after you eat something because you might feel a bit full. So these are things to think about where in your day you're going to plan to have your practice time. When it comes to practicing, quality is so much more important than quantity. Unfortunately, you may have even already heard from other music teachers that you got to practice for an hour every day, or half an hour every day, or so many hours per week. And this information isn't really helpful because the quality of the time you're putting in is what's really important. If you were to take the same approach to eating food and say, well, the way you get nourishment into your body is you sit at the dinner table for 45 minutes. It's missing so much of the point. There are so many other factors. Are you eating too much? Are you not eating healthy foods? Are you not eating at all? Are you just sitting there? And practicing music is the same. You can sit down with your instrument for an hour and not only make no progress, you can actually regress, because if you're reinforcing bad habits, then you're actually making your playing worse. So what I like to tell my students is focus on the quality. 5 minutes of really focused practice can change your life forever. I know for me it's that way. I had to start out by getting the routine working first rather than trying to figure out what I was going to even practice. So picking a small thing and being consistent with it, and when you're there, challenging yourself to do a little more of it each time is the best way to go. Now in life, things are going to come up. You're going to get sick, you're going to have to travel places, you're going to have holidays, all of these things. And it's important to be flexible with your practice routine and to think a little bit into the future. And so for me, for example, when I'm planning when I'm going to be practicing, I'm taking into account some of those factors, the ones that I can control anyways. Like if I know that I've got family coming to visit and I'm going to be busy entertaining people and doing things, I will sometimes put my practice routine on hold to give my full attention to that, knowing that when the time is right, I'm going to come back and be fully focused, rather than trying to ram in practice time when you're distracted with other things. The same can be true of getting sick, having a cold, getting the flu, something like that. I would say it's good to have a break from things, and always when you're practicing, you want to be in a good frame of mind and being, because you're not just practicing musical information, you're training your body to have a relationship with the gaining of musical language. And if your body is in a frenetic state every time you do that, when you go to touch your instrument, it literally will reset your brain to feel anxious and upset. Now the other side of that is that if you can train yourself to be calm and present every time you're with your instrument, pretty soon after a while you'll just go over and pick it up and your body will come into a calm place. Before I practice, I like to take a moment and before I even touch the instrument or put it together, and just see if I can get myself, I sometimes close my eyes and take a few deep breaths and try and get myself into a very calm place, because I want to reinforce that with everything that I'm learning. If you don't have any experience with meditation, I highly recommend that through whatever form you can find, you find a good practice that's small and to the point where you can get yourself into a calm and relaxed place before you start. Another key element to actually getting towards your goals is to make sure to always be challenging yourself. There's this fine line when you're learning new things between going over what you already know and challenging yourself to do something new. And the balance, you might think, well, once I learn how to do a few things, I'm only just going to ever want to do those things over and over again. But what will happen is you'll start to get bored with what you can already do. And a good thing I like to tell my students is you should always be feeling a little bit uncomfortable when you're practicing. And I don't mean like nervous and agitated, but you should be doing things where you're not getting it right all the time. Because you want to be, that's a sign that you're actually working on something that's making you better. It's the whole point of practicing in the first place. I work on things on my own so that when I go play with other people, I can have more things that I can express. Not so that I can just repeat the same things that I already know how to do over and over again.